What's going on, everyone? Nathan here. In this video today, we're going to talk about the curse of knowledge and why sometimes it is kind of bad to know a little bit more than your customer. But anyway, let's talk about the curse. Woo! I might just wait a few seconds, see if anyone jumps on to the live. I think I'm live streaming in like a few different places. It's the first time I'm doing it, so forgive me if this doesn't work. Okay, looks like we're live. Someone's jumping on. Drop me a hey in the comments. Give me a hashtag live, hashtag replay if you're watching in the replay. I create these lives to kind of generate some discussion around, some of the internet marketing and sales and techniques and all that sort of stuff. So drop me some comments, say what's up, and heckle. So, all right, the curse of knowledge. What is it? Well, the reason this came into my head today was because I read a book, I listened to the Audible book. I'm going to buy the book, actually, because it's a really good book. It's called Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath. And essentially it's about, sticky ideas and what makes ideas sticky. And one of the chapters in there, and one of the things they spoke about was this, the chapter was called The Curse of Knowledge. And what they spoke about was this study that was done back in 1990 by Stanford Uni, where they got a bunch of people together. They got what they called listeners and what they called tappers, and they threw these people into a room and kind of let them go nuts. No, we're gonna. What's up, Jaggy? You driving, mate? Good on you. Are you commenting from YouTube? Because I'm going live in a few different places. This is my first time, so I'm trying to figure out how this all works. But anyway, so they got these tappers and these listeners. I think they got like a couple hundred participants, and I'm gonna get I've got this little. Here we go. They got a couple of hundred participants, and they had tappers and listeners. And what they did was they kind of went. They said to the tappers, they said, "All right, guys, we want you to tap a well-known song, whether it's Happy Birthday or what have I got written here? Twinkle Little Star, those nursery rhymes, stuff that's really well known to a lot of people." And they said, "We want you to tap this song and then see just with your finger on the table and see if the listener or the other person can guess what it is." And they said, "Look, before we do this, how many people do you think will guess the song that you're going to tap?" And they guessed 50%. They guessed 50. One in every two people would guess the correct song. Now, what's really interesting about this is the results. Let's have a look at the results. So let's say we tapped Happy Birthday. They said, "Yep, one in two people is going to get this right." Guess what? 1 in 40 people guessed correctly. Now, is that a mismatch or what? Is that a mismatch in thinking? I would say yes, because they guessed 50%, and the result was roughly 2.5% of people guessed the correct song. So which it's funny because it shows what's in your head when you're tapping the song, because while you're tapping, and this relates to marketing and getting messaging out there and getting your story and things in front of other people. It's like what's going through your head, and you're singing the song along while you're tapping or putting your message out there. Are other people, are the consumers, are the customers, or the people listening to your message, are they actually getting the right message that you're trying to get across? Are they understanding your point? Are they understanding where you're coming from? And my guess is usually no. And this is why it's really really interesting to see stuff like this. And it's really important, I think, to focus back on clarity and having clear messaging and really understanding the consumer and the people who are in front of your messaging. It's really important to put yourself in their shoes. And this is just I've got a little snippet from the study here, and that's why there's quote marks around there. So essentially, this is what I said in what I read, the little the snippet. When a tapper taps, it's impossible for her to avoid hearing the tune playing along to her taps. So like happy birthday, you're singing happy birthday in your head. Meanwhile, all the listener can hear is a kind of bizarre Morse code or banging or tapping. Yet the tappers were flabbergasted by how hard the listeners had to work to pick up the tune. And, you know, I think this is really cool, this study, because it really brings to light, you know, why a lot of marketers and a lot of business owners, why they actually, you know, they struggle to get their message across, and they kind of go, well, why, you know, I've got this, you know, this advertising, this marketing campaign out there. Why aren't people responding to it? Well, guess what? You know, you might want, or you might think that, you know, 1 in 2 people might respond well to your marketing campaign, but in reality, 1 in 40 are actually, you know, resonating with that or responding to that. So I think this is really important to understand and kind of really step back from your customer's shoes and step back from the what, step back from, you know, what message am I trying to get across, and think about how is this message actually being relayed, or how is this being understood or interpreted. So anyway, I think this is really cool. Drop in the comments if you're watching live. Give me a hashtag live. Drop some comments. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. Let me know what you think of this whole, you know, listener tapper study that they did, because I think it's insanely cool. And if you haven't read the book, it's called Made to Stick by Chip and Dan Heath. Really interesting read, and they show you you know, real life campaigns and real life studies and you know, stuff that's actually been done in marketing campaigns and stuff like that, that's actually worked, and why it's worked. So they look at, you know, why that idea was sticky. You know, they look at, you know, like the Donald Trump campaign and stuff like that. You know, why did his campaign resonate better with, you know, the target market than, you know, Hillary Clinton, stuff like that. And yeah, so most entrepreneurs, and I see this a lot, you know, especially, you know, on all these different social media platforms and YouTube, everywhere, you know, so you see it a lot. Why aren't entrepreneurs getting their message across? And, you know, people complain, you know, they're like, why aren't people responding? Why aren't I getting sales? Why aren't I getting, you know, cheap leads? And it's because they're putting themselves in the tapper's shoes. You know, they're singing this tune along in their head about how they want their marketing campaign to come across and how they want it to run, but they're actually forgetting, you know, the end result. You know, how is that actually being relayed to the end user? You know, they think that they're going to get 1 in 2 and 50% of people actually understanding their marketing message and responding to it, but in reality, it's 1 in 40. So, yeah, my little tip: focus on clarity, focus on your customer's frame of mind, and if you don't know what their frame of mind is, then ask them or study them or do more research, and make sure that, you know, you're from your offer or your product or your brand, make sure, you know, your messaging all the way to the end user is clear and it's understood, you know, by that end user. Anyway, so that's today's little live. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. Hope everyone's enjoyed my new little bit of greenery behind me. I think it makes the room a little bit, you know, more colorful and nicer to actually, you know, work in. So yeah, drop in the comments if let me know what you think. There's no more comments popping up on StreamYard. I don't know if people are commenting or not, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, let me know what you think, and yeah, make sure you step out of the tapper's shoes. You know, make sure you understand what's in the listener's head. How is that message coming across to them? Anyway, hope everyone's having a good day. Have a good morning, and we'll jump on live, you know, tomorrow. See everyone tomorrow.